Thank you, Uri, for your words and also for what you have asked me to do. You are a man of vision and action. You established an outstanding institution. When Ron Lauder told me about these plans, he said, look, we are mobilizing in order to create a national and international forum that each year will shape the ways of thinking and refresh them. And my good friend Uzi Arad mobilized along with you, just as our good friend is doing so now. I think you have proved with these years of action that one can think and think well, and one can dream realistically. And that's in fact what Herzl said in that quote that you cited. We have a shared dream to achieve peace with our neighbors. I have reason to believe or hope realistically that in the coming weeks we will renew the peace process with the Palestinians without preconditions. I have been saying for a long time that the international system recognizes, or the recognition has ripened within it, that Israel wants to and is willing to renew the peace process. And once that recognition ripened in the international community, the practical feasibility of that step is also taking shape. You know, they say it takes two to tango. In the Middle East, sometimes it takes three to tango, or at least to start to tango. And I hope after that we will be able to continue to dance as a couple. And I believe there is a desire on the Palestinian side not only to build the Palestinian economy and institutions, but also to start to build peace itself, because the only way to achieve a peace agreement is to start to hold negotiations towards peace. And if that desire indeed exists now, we will see the renewal of the process in the coming weeks. I know that one of my predecessors, Ariel Sharon, spoke on this platform about the disengagement. Today, I would like to talk about not disengagement, but rather about engagement. Engagement with our heritage, with Zionism, with our past, with our future, here in the land of our ancestors, which is also the land of our children and grandchildren. You are occupied with the fate of our nation, because today it is clear that the fate of the Jewish people is the fate of the Jewish state. There is no demographic or practical existence for the Jewish people without the Jewish state. That does not mean that the Jewish state is not facing very great challenges, but our existence, our future, are here. And the great change in the establishment of the State of Israel was that Jews moved from being a collection of individuals and communities and splinters of communities to a sovereign collective in a territory of its own. And our ability as a collective to control our fate gives us the tools to shape our future. We are no longer a nation that is led, defeated, and persecuted. We are a proud nation with a glorious state that constantly is aspiring to be a light unto the nations. In order to continue to control our fate, we need to establish our collective ability in three main areas: security, economy, and education. I will not elaborate today on the matter of security, except to say that we will have to continue to foster and strengthen our military might. The weak cannot survive in this difficult geographic area, and no one makes peace with those who are weak. A strong Israel is a guarantee for both our continued existence and for peace with our neighbors. And I would like to make clear that our security needs will increase during the coming decade. In my opinion, in the next 2 decades, we are entering a different world in which the aggressor has certain advantages. The aggressor can launch, they're not even missiles, they're just pieces of metal that have a fairly primitive motor and fuel and explosives. And in order to hit this flying piece of metal, we have to invest a great deal. And sometimes the aggressor, under such conditions, has the advantage, and we have to work very hard in order to undermine that advantage. And we can do it, but it costs a lot of money. Security requires a strong economy, and a strong economy gives good security, strong security. And therefore, there is no way to address Israel's security needs in the coming decade, just as there is no way to address the needs of education or health, or the need to fight crime and drugs, to fight against the problems of alcohol. All this requires money. And this will only come from economic growth. There is no other source to finance these needs to the tune of many billions. Any other way of surplus taxation that doesn't give us income and more income from taxes. On the contrary, it reduces them. There is nothing that is equivalent to a consistent rise of 4 to 5% in our GDP each year. There's nothing that is equal to that in the context of financing our security and other needs. Can an economy that is coming close to $30,000 per capita, can it continue to grow at a rate of 5% per year? I believe that the answer is yes. And the way to do that goes through a constant release of the economy. As long as there are barriers to competition, and as long as our level of taxes is not among the lowest in the world, we have growth engines. As we lower taxes, we will continue to grow, and we will get the tax income that will enable us to finance our needs and the needs of the future. We are planning to present to the government a list of things already in the coming weeks. First of all, a national transportation plan that will connect the whole country with a network of trains and roads to get people moving. 2, a revolutionary reform in planning and construction that will enable developers to build in the north, in the south, in the middle of the country, in Herzliya, right here. It won't take years. It will take perhaps months. It won't go through various officials and windows, nerve-wracking processes that will go through the internet, a large part of it. And the permits will arrive. Some will arrive automatically. You just have to report. A reform in planning and construction, a national transportation network, the release of lands. We've already done a large part of this. All of these things support growth, just as there will be other things that I will elaborate on before the next conference. This is an integral part, the strengthening of the economy. I want to make it clear that the State of Israel, as I see it, is already a regional economic superpower, and in my vision, we will strengthen and deepen our place as a world technological superpower. This is a necessary condition, but not a sufficient one. Because a strong military and a strong economy do not provide a sufficient guarantee for our existence here if we don't have a commitment to be here from the outset. And that, distinguished audience, can be created only by means of one thing, by means of education.